Kingdom Sports. Good evening, everybody. Let's share this. We're live on today with the NBA Finals preview prediction show. Let's share this. Let's get a good crowd in here so we can have some crowd participation. I definitely want to get you guys feedback and takes on the different matchups that we've experienced so far, and also what are your takes on the NBA Finals as we're drawing near to those. So go ahead and like, comment, and share, and we'll get right into it as we get a couple people up in here. Like, comment, and share. Kingdom Sports is your host, C. Michael Stanley. I bring you greetings from Kingdom Speaks Network. The founder and CEO is my lovely wife, Tawanta Stanley, and I bless and thank her for allowing me to come on with my podcast, with my show, Kingdom Sports. So once again, this is Kingdom Speaks Network presenting Kingdom Sports to you all, and I am your host, C. Michael Stanley. So we're going to have some fun on tonight. We're going to try to be on for, let's try to do an hour show on today. So let's get some comments, let's get some feedback. Come on in with your comments. Let's talk a little trash. Hey, babe. Let's talk a little trash. That's my wife, y'all. Let's talk a little trash. Let me get your picks. I'm gonna do my pick at the end of the show. And speaking of picks, Eastern Conference Finals and Western Conference Finals, I had that almost 100% accurate. 100% accurate. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Then we'll look at these NBA Finals. Like, comment, and share. Let's get all the sports heads on here. Let's get the basketball lovers, people that like sports in general. NBA Finals, great time of the year. Every team trying to make it to June, but it's only two left. It's only two left. We're down to the Mavericks and the Celtics. Dallas Mavericks, Boston Celtics. Like, comment, and share. We'll dive in once we get, let me get like 3 or 4 more people on here with me. Give me 3 or 4 more people, and we'll jump into it. Let me drink some water. Uh-oh. I put some water on my glasses. My goodness. Glory to God. Okay. That looks good. All right. That looks good. All right. I see we got some more people on. So let's do this, y'all. We're trying to be on about an hour tonight. Let's get ready. Minister Vino, I see your prediction. I'm going to have my prediction at the end of the show. I'll say my comments for yours at the end as well. But I will say my comments. You almost made me reveal my cards. So let's get into it, guys. The last time we were here, we were in the middle of the Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals. I had made predictions with both of those series. I said that the Celtics would do a gentleman's sweep. Then I came back midway and said they're probably going to go ahead and sweep them out. And they did just that. So the Celtics, some people say they've had the easiest road to the finals possible because every team they faced were down their top dog. I believe they had to go against Miami without Jimmy Butler. They ran into the Cavs, and Donovan Mitchell ended up getting hurt. They were already without Jared Allen. And then they got into a matchup with Indiana, which I didn't think Indiana was going to win, but I thought the Celtics would win in 5, but they ended up winning in 4 because their main guy, Tyrese Halliburton, got hurt. So the Celtics has had a smooth trip into these finals. Now, we know they've been down this road before. We know they made it to the finals before. They've been in the Eastern Conference Finals several years in a row. So there are some mileage on those young lads. You know, Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown are their 2 top players. Both of those guys are still in their 20s. They still got a long career ahead of them. But they've been deep in the playoffs for most of their career. They had early success. And I think that's why we almost ordained them too soon, so to speak. Because they had the early success, we were expecting them to have a championship by now. But they're still young. They still have time to win the championship. They gained that experience. Then on the other side of the bracket, after the Timberwolves handled the Nuggets, most of America were certain the Timberwolves were going to beat the Mavs. Most of America were certain the Timberwolves were going to beat the Mavs. However, if you look back at Kingdom Sports, my broadcast, my prediction, I had the Mavs in 6. So just like the other series, they won, but they end up doing it a little early. Had Mavs in 5. I was thinking they were going to close it out on their home court, but they closed it out right in front of the Timberwolves fans, and that was exciting to see. Luka Doncic, he came out and said, "Hey, I'm coming to win. I don't want to go back home and play a game right now. I want to go back home and rest and prepare for the next matchup." Because he understood how important rest is going to be for his team. Because I don't know if people know this or not, but he's been dealing with a lot of injuries and still putting up historic numbers. He's having a triple-double seems like every other game. And then one of my favorite players of all time is his riding mate, Kyrie Irving, a.k.a. Killer Kyrie. I said this before. Anthony Edwards, I love him. He's a young lion, 22 years old. We're going to be seeing him a long time. But he awoke the sleeping giant. And before the game, he said, "Kyrie, I'm guarding you." And I said it before. I said, I don't know if that was a good idea for that young man to do that. And we saw it. It took a lot for that team to beat the defending champions in the Denver Nuggets. They came into the series with the Mavs. They were gassed. They were winded. He did the best he could. He was chasing Kyrie around. But Kyrie put up numbers. I believe we had multiple games where Kyrie and Luka Doncic both dropped 30 points apiece. So that's 60 points from two guys. That's going to be tough for anybody to overcome. So, again, Eastern Conference pick was right. Western Conference pick was right. And now we're at the NBA Finals. We have the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics will be hosting. So, the Boston Celtics have the game home court advantage. So, the first 2 games will be in Boston. Then we'll go for 2 in Dallas. And then they'll go 1 for 1 the last 3 with the Celtics getting Game 5 and Game 7 at their home court. So, that can go in favor of the Celtics if this reaches 7 games. Again, I'll make my prediction at the end of the show. But if we were to go 7 games, that's going to be on the Celtics' home floor. And that'll be a tough situation for any team to overcome, let alone a team that hasn't been there with this group of players. Now, let's look at the matchups here. Boston has pretty much been the best team all year long. They play pretty good offense. They play pretty good defense. I believe they're in the top 5 in both categories. But then we look over at Dallas. It seems like Dallas shifted after the trade deadline. They were able to pick up a few pieces that has really put them over that hump defensively. Because we know with Luka and Kyrie, they're going to score. We know that. But we knew they needed some defenders. And I heard Luka say this the other day. He said they got a couple dogs on the team now. And anybody knows sports, any championship caliber team, you're going to need some dogs on the team. And when we say dogs, those are guys that are going to do the dirty work. Those are guys that you may not see them with double-digit points in scoring, double-digit rebounds, but they're going to have some type of impact on the game. One big stat that a lot of people don't talk about is the plus-minus. So how effective were you while you were in the game? So sometimes when you're in the game, your team starting to lose. Or sometimes when you're in your game, your team starting to win. So it seems like Dallas picked up a lot of guys. When you put them in there, they had a positive plus-minus, meaning that the team was either able to maintain the lead or build on the lead when those guys got in there. So they made some moves at the trade deadline. They really stepped up their game defensively. They're gelling together, and they're looking really, really well balanced now. And they've been playing some exciting basketball. They got some guys that are lob threats now. Got some guys that don't mind defending. Got some three-point shooters. Everything you needed to surround Luka and Kyrie with, they provide that for them. So hats off to their general manager. Another general manager that did a good job in the offseason. We didn't wait till the trade deadline. He made the moves in the offseason for the Celtics. The Celtics, we know they had Marcus Smart. One of those dogs we were talking about earlier. He was the Celtics dog. He was a defensive player of the year. They end up trading him in reality for Kristaps Porzingis. Now, what happened there, you gave up a great defensive player for a great offensive player. So when that move first happened, I said, I think they plan to make another move because this is not going to work for them. So we know Kristaps, he can block a few shots. He's going to hit a few threes. He's a good fit between Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, but we know we need to get a perimeter defender. He's a good rim protector, but we know we need to get a perimeter defender to replace what Marcus Smart brought to the table. Then next thing we know, they traded an often injured. I believe his name is Robert Williams, if I'm not mistaken. He was a pretty good fit for them, but he was injured often. I don't think he played this year. They ended up being able to trade him for a proven veteran, a proven winner, and got Drew Holiday. So when they made that trade, it was like Boston, they're the team to beat. So you picked up Chris Porzingis and you picked up Drew Holiday to go ahead and play with what you already had in a Jayson Tatum and a Jaylen Brown. So they made a complete team. So hats off to their executive over there who made those decisions. Those were great pickups. And now we have these teams ready for war now, the NBA Finals. We got them ready for war. Yeah, Terrence, yes, sir. You have great card play. It makes the others look good. And we definitely see that with Dallas. With Kyrie and Luka. You know, those guys get easy shots. They love playing with those guys. So, yeah, great guard play. Definitely make the others look good. You know, you got somebody that's going to be able to command the attention of the defense and somebody that's going to be able to get you the ball in the spot that you like it. Man, they got two guys that's doing that, and Luka and Kyrie. So it's phenomenal you got a guard play like that. Yes, sir. Give me those comments. That helps the show go along, guys. Give me some more of those comments. So, we're coming up now. And what I saw in the Eastern Conference Finals dealing with the Celtics, and I've said this time and time again, I said this about Anthony Edwards as well, him and Jayson Tatum, for some reason, are coming out saying, yeah, I want to be the face of the NBA. I haven't been around that long, but the time I've been along, I never heard a player come out and say they want to be the face. Usually we know who that guy is. He don't have to come out and say, I want to be the face. We know who the face of the NBA is. When I was growing up, we know it was Michael Jordan. We knew it. Michael Jordan had to make a big announcement, I'm the face of the NBA. Or I want to be the face of the NBA when Magic and Larry hang it up. He arrived, and we had no choice but to say, hey, he's the man. Then after Michael Jordan went through, you had the Spurs dynasty, you had the Lakers dynasty. Tim Duncan was one of my favorite players, but he was never considered like a face of the NBA. But then you had Shaq and Kobe on the other side, and we definitely said it about those guys. So you had Shaq for quite a while there after Jordan retired. Then I would say it was Kobe. Then we all know when LeBron James came onto the scene, it shifted over to LeBron James. So from Jordan, Shaq, Kobe, LeBron James, this is my lifetime watching the NBA, I never once had heard any of those guys say, hey, I'm the face of the NBA. Hey, I want to be the face. They played. And we had no choice but that we're going to see him on national TV half of the year. Half his games going to be on national TV. He's going to be on ESPN. His team is going to be on TNT. So now we coming up where we see a changing of the guard. We see a changing of the guard. LeBron is not here in the finals. Steph Curry is not here in the finals. Kevin Durant is not here in the finals. So we see a change in the guard. And we see that that spot may be vacant. But for these guys to come and ordain themselves and self-appoint themselves, yeah, I'm going to be the face of the league. You don't know the pressure you put on yourself, young man. So I see Anthony Edwards did that, and I love Ant. I believe he could potentially become that. Same thing with Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum been playing good, since he's been in the league. But for you to come out and put that undue pressure on yourself, you put a difficult task on yourself. So we saw that with Edwards. Yeah, he went through KD and the Suns, he went through the Nuggets, but then he got to the Mavs and he saw this thing was tougher than he thought it was going to be. Because not only do you got to play high-level basketball to win these series, you have to win multiple series. And it's tough. It's not easy. So we saw him put that pressure on himself, and he kind of faltered a little bit. We saw him kind of fizzle off a little bit. And then we look at Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum wasn't even the conference finals MVP. Jaylen Brown was. And we saw that for years now. It seemed like when it's time for the big play to be made, it's really Jaylen Brown doing it instead of Jayson Tatum. Let's be real with ourselves. So I don't know if Jayson Tatum might either say, you know what? I might need to be the number 2 to his number 1. Because for some reason, we said that Tatum is better than Brown, but in these cut situations, it seems like Brown may be the better player. Yeah, Tatum scores a lot of points. Yeah, Tatum does a lot of things. Yes, he's gifted. But then there's something about Brown. Brown got that heart in him. And Tatum, let's be real with each other. We question Tatum's heart sometimes. We don't know if Tatum want to play with his son or if he want to play the game today. We don't know if Tatum want to take the big shot or he go get scary and miss. Cause we seen him take some big shots and we see him miss a lot of them big shots. And you look and you go back, you guys, any statisticians here, if you look at his play in these playoffs, his 3-point shot, he's left a lot on the table there. He's missed a lot of shots. So I said before, we haven't seen Jayson Tatum have a signature game this playoffs. On the other hand, we saw Jaylen Brown have a signature game. I think he dropped the 40 piece on those guys. Then he hit the game time bucket to send the first game in the overtime against the Pacers. Brown is putting his stamp on these playoffs. Tatum hasn't done that yet. Can we count on him to do that in the NBA Finals? Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Brown or is it going to be Tatum? Is it going to be Brown or is it going to be Tatum? Yeah, like you said, there's no real face of the league right now. I agree with you, Terrence. Yeah, I agree with you, T. Like, man, we don't know yet. We don't know yet. And John Morant, I believe you're talking about John Morant. He was about to be the guy. And he got into some trouble. So you're right, he could come back with a vengeance next year. And when he did come back this year after the suspension, he was looking like he was on a mission then, but unfortunately he got hurt. So we were talking about him before we started talking about Anthony Edwards. So we gotta look and wait. And the one thing Anthony Edwards and Jayson Tatum forgot, like I said, they self-appointed themselves the new face of the league. But all those other people I named earlier in the conversation, they won the championship. Yeah, the play got to speak for himself. They won the championship. Bird and Magic. They came into the NBA and helped save the NBA, but they were doing it big in college. They were winners in college. Then they get into the NBA and win early. Magic Johnson won the championship in, I think, his rookie year. Larry Bird coming behind him winning championships in his third, fourth season. These guys are not only winning big, they were doing it early in their career. So they earned that respect of the players. Then Jordan came in, and they had no choice but to pass the torch to them. If you watch any of the Dream Team, videos from back in the day, 1992 Dream Team, you hear Larry and Magic talking about, hey, it's MJ league now. MJ had to say it was his league. The guys handed the baton to him and they have any issues handing the baton to him because he was already winning. 1992, MJ had them won 2 championships already. And this is our popular opinion. I never really liked MJ like that. That's just my opinion. I know people consider him the GOAT and all those things. I didn't like him like that. I said this before, Shaquille O'Neal, my all-time favorite player. I started watching basketball when Shaquille O'Neal was drafted by the Orlando Magic in 1992. So Shaquille O'Neal, he's that guy for me. Michael Jordan, I wasn't a big fan. I'm sorry. Hey, I know he won a lot of championships. He did a lot of great things. I just wasn't a big fan of Michael Jordan. But he won. Shaq and Kobe won. Tim Duncan won. LeBron won. Steph Curry won. Kevin Durant won. These guys haven't won one yet. And say they want to be the face. Give me one. So Anthony Edwards is done. Jayson Tatum is left. But now he's going against a Mavericks team that seems like they're on the mission, y'all. When you look at what Luka did in that last game against the Timberwolves, he put a team on his back in the first quarter. And like I said earlier, I'm not going back home to play another game. His mind was made up. Now I'm going back home to rest for the finals. And so when you got your top player playing like that, all the other guys are going to follow along. They're going to follow along with him. So we saw him go off. We saw Kyrie go off. And then the rest of the guys hit their shots. Lively's been big. A rookie player. Lively for the Mavs been big. Because they're not expecting to carry all the weight. Luka and Kyrie going to do the heavy weight carrying. You guys going to pick up the slack. If you got guys on the team that know their roles and don't mind doing it, you're going to be successful. So now we look at the Celtics. The Celtics got a lot of guys that knows their role. Drew knows his role. But I love when Drew, he had a magnificent steal on the Pacers towards the end of one of those games. Like, man, that's why he's Drew Holiday. And then you go back when he was with the Bucks when they won the championship. He snatched the ball, I think it was from Booker. Just snatch the ball from him. Going the other way. Alley-oop, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Championship won. Defensive play at the right time. I know Marcus Smart was the defensive player of the year, but for me, Jrue Holiday is a better defender because the moments in which he does what he does. Yeah, you may have a lot of steals, but when are you making those steals? Yeah, you may have a lot of blocks, but when are you making those blocks? We see Jrue Holiday do those things in crucial moments. He's going to snatch that ball away, then his backcourt mate, Derek White, I see him make crucial blocks. They know their role. KP was hurt. Al Horford been playing, man. How long? Somebody tell me how long Al Horford been playing. He about 17, 18 years, I believe. You know, he's a champion with the University of Florida Gators. I was going for them guys when they were on their run. Him and Joakim Noah and Corey Brewer and all those guys. And they won back-to-back championships, NCAA. Nobody's done that since those guys. And Horford is a professional. He comes to work. He steps up when he needs to step up. He'll hit a big three, get a big rebound, get a big block. He does a lot of small things. He's been doing that his whole career. When he was a 2010 guy, you know he was going to bring to the table. And then when it was time for him to let somebody else be the 20-point scorer, he didn't mind doing that. These guys know their roles. The big question is going to be Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Yeah, Terrence, that's why they're coming. The finals going to tell who the real big dog is on the Celtics. We got to know who it is. I remember when LeBron went to the Heat, and we was like, yeah, them guys are going to win a bunch of championships. They lost to the Mavericks because they couldn't figure out who the big dog is. You got to know who number one is. I know it seemed kind of shallow and vague, but you got to know who the man is. You have to know this. So LeBron went to Miami. He was like, I'm coming to play with D-Wade. This D-Wade team, D-Wade has won the championship already. So he deferred to D-Wade a lot. But D-Wade had to say, hey, Bron, I've done what I need to do for Miami. I won. Now I need you to win, and the only way that you're going to win, you're going to have to lead us. You're going to have to lead us. So when they were able to do that, we saw the Heat be successful. So somebody's going to have to take on that mantle for the Celtics. Because when I look at the Mavericks, I see Kyrie. Like I said, Kyrie, one of my favorite players. Killer Kyrie. We know what he can do. But we see by the way they play, Luka's the number one man. There's no question about that. Apostle, how you doing, Paul? There's no question about Luka being the number one man for the Mavs. And Kyrie is serving as a big brother, a mentor. Because Kyrie, once again, like I said with the Heat, with D-Wade, Kyrie's won the championship before. Kyrie don't need to be the number one guy. Kyrie's hit the big shot before to win the game, the championship game. So he's assured Luka, you the man. You're the face of our franchise. You're going to lead us to the mountaintop. And when it's time to hit a shot, and they double on you or they're doing whatever to you, you ain't got it going, you can count on me to get it going. They pick up your slack when it's time to pick up your slack. But I know I still won't get the big head. I might score more than you, Luka, in this particular game. But I know at the end of the day, you the man. So we appointed Jayson Tatum to be the man for the Celtics. But has Jaylen Brown accepted that? And me personally, Jaylen Brown's better than Tatum. That's my personal opinion. You may not agree with it. But Jaylen Brown, right now, as it stands, Jaylen Brown is a better player than Tatum. So I believe in order for the Celtics to win, Tatum needs to accept it, let Jaylen Brown lead them, and Jayson Tatum may be able to take over that down the line, because I think Brown is the older player, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Brown is a year or two older than Tatum. Let Brown take that right now, Tatum, and then you come and do a switcheroo when it's time. But right now, watch those games. Watch those games. Yeah, that's what I said earlier, Posse. He got that dog in him. He got that heart in him. He's not afraid to take those shots. He's not afraid to step up and take the blame if they lose. Jayson Tatum making excuses. He missed 10 shots in a row. He don't know what's going on. He's dumbfounded. But Brown, he going to take the shot, make a miss. He going to own it. I believe Tatum got to realize that Brown needs to be that guy right now. I'm going to be the number 2 to you. I'll be Pip, you be Jordan. And then maybe in 2 years, we can switch a route. And we can extend each other's playing career if we're ready to do that. And that's what I love about Kyrie. Kyrie learned from that. Because when he was with Cleveland, he didn't want to be number 2 to LeBron. He didn't want to be number 2 to LeBron. He was like, man, LeBron got too much attention. I know what I bring to the table, man. Nobody got these dribble skills like I got. Nobody can shoot the shots I make. Nobody can get to the cup and shoot over the big man. I'm number 1 guy. I don't need to be LeBron to be my number 1 guy. I'm number 1 guy. So Kyrie had to learn from that. Because all he had to do was be a little patient with LeBron. LeBron was ready to hand the mantle off to him. But, you know, Kyrie went over to Boston. Had a few years at Boston. Told Boston he was going to stay. He left. He went over to the Nets. Had his issues with the Nets. We all know about that. But he's come over to the Mavericks. And we have a mature Kyrie Irving now. He's learned from that. He's learned from that. So, the only way the Celtics can win, I'm saying it here, the only way the Celtics can win, if Tatum say, Brown, you the guy. Brown, the Eastern Conference Finals MVP was not a coincidence. You are our most valuable player. You are the man that's going to lead us to the championship. JB, bro, I give it to you. My time is not now. Now Tatum can do that. I don't know who's in Tatum's ear. I don't know who's talking to him. I don't know if he has somebody keeping it real with him. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's going to take some maturity to take place. Because I said before, a lot of people saying the Celtics got to win this year. They don't have to win this year. Those young men are still young. Them guys like 25, 26. Most of the great players don't win their first until they're 28. Most of the great guys don't win their first until they're 28 years old. It's more than talent. It's a lot of maturation that has to take place. And a lot of that is a mental game then. Because your talent is only going to get you so far. You got to start to think the game. All right, so who's going to win this thing? I've seen 2 people say Dallas is going to win. I saw Minister Vino say Dallas in 6. I see Brother Terrence, he's going with Dallas as well. And I see a comment say they got they got the 2 best closers in the game. That was the difference between them and the Wolves. The Wolves didn't know if Cat was going to close, Ant was going to close. They didn't know. Dallas, we know. If it ain't Luka, it's Kyrie. If it ain't Kyrie, it's Luka. And I'm going to say this before somebody talks about the Celtics defense. I've been watching basketball faithfully since 1992. You can be the best defender in the world. But when one of those guys start to get in their bag, like they say, when one of those guys is in the zone, when it's those top guys like a Michael Jordan, like a Kobe, like a Steph Curry, like a Kevin Durant, like a Luka, like a Kyrie, and I put Brown and Tatum in there. When those guys get to going, the best defender can't stop them. You can play your best defense. Keep them in front of you. They get the shot up hand in their face, and they hit. It's almost like them guys can get the shots with their eyes closed anyway. So when they're going, you can't stop them. So a lot of people say defense wins championships, and I agree with that. You have to defend those other guys. You can't let somebody like a Derek White on the Celtics hit you for 20. And then if you're the Celtics, you can't let a P.J. Washington hit you for 20. So you got to defend those guys. The superstars going to get their points. The superstars going to get their points. That's what it is. They're going to get it. You can play great defense on them. They're going to get it. Oh, I see Apostle. He's going with Boston. How many Apostle you got? Boston in 5, 6, 7? Right now you got to by yourself saying Boston. I don't know if we got anybody else saying Boston. But I'll tell you this, Apostle. Like I said, if Tatum can let Brown be that guy, Boston can win. If Tatum do it. What you got, Apostle? Boston in 6, 7? I know you ain't saying 4 or 5. I know you ain't saying that. 6, okay. Yes, sir. So we got 2 people, Dallas in 6. Got Apostle. I got Minister Vino, Dallas in 6. Brother Terrence, Dallas in 6. Apostle, Celtics in 6. Minister Vino, Boston, they're going to have that's not even a word, Minister Vino. A hard time defending the pick and roll. They might as well not even try to defend it. You saw what the Timberwolves did. The Timberwolves are number 1 defense, guys. I said the Celtics got a top 5. Timberwolves was the number 1 defense. Number 1 defense. And that pick and roll, oh my goodness, they know what to do. Should I blitz it? Should I drop back? Should I hedge? They know what to do. They didn't have a clue. So I don't see Boston having a clue for this either. Apostle and Drew Holiday, I talked about Drew. Yeah, he's the guy on the Celtics. He's won the championship. He's been there before. And you know what, Apostle? It may take him to have a real talk with Tatum and say, hey, bro, let JB do this. Let JB be our number 1 right now. Your time coming, but it's JB time right now. Let Jaylen Brown do his thing. So Drew might have to have a heart-to-heart with Tatum, and he may be able to get through to him. He may be able to get through to him. And yeah, he gonna have to hit some big buckets. We know what he's gonna bring defensively, but Drew Holiday gonna have to hit some big buckets. He's gonna have to hit some big buckets. Yeah, Mr. Vino, Al Horford too slow out there. Man. Hey, y'all saw Luka make the defensive player of the year? Had him out there doing the cha-cha dance. Al Horford is gonna fall. And not taking anything away from Rudy Gobert. If you look at it, he played the best defense he could play. He kept him in front of him. He put his hand up. It was looking crazy, but he used basic defensive principle that he was supposed to use, and Lucas just had him dancing and hit the shot on him. It looked funny. Al Horford ain't gonna stand a chance. But Drew is gonna have to do a lot on both ends. Drew gonna have to do a lot. Yeah, Apostle, and that's what I was saying too. Drew, they had Marcus Smart as a very great defender, not taking anything away from Marcus Smart. The defensive player of the year. But Drew, I said it earlier, Apostle, he does those things in the right moments. He does those things when it's needed most. I heard Shaq, like I said, Shaq is my favorite player of all time. And we all know Shaq had issues shooting free throws. You know what Shaq's favorite thing to say was? I hit them when they count. So what he meant by that, in the clutch moments, in the crucial moments, Shaq would hit his free throws. So we've seen Drew Holiday come up clutch defensively. I thought them guys could be cooking Drew. They could drop a 30-piece on Drew. But Drew is still going to guard them. Drew will come up with a big steal, a big block, and have that thing going the other way. But Drew going to have his work cut out for him, though. He's going to have his work cut out for him. Because Killer Kyrie, it ain't nothing like it. And we saw Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, we know he's an offensive player, but Anthony Edwards put effort into defense. And he played pretty good defense. But when you got a guy like Killer Kyrie, what it does, it wears on you. This ain't the NCAA tournament where it's one and done. This is professional basketball. This is the NBA Finals. You got to beat me 4 times. In Apostle, as much as I love Drew Holiday, I don't know if you can put them handcuffs on Drew Holiday 4 times. I don't know if he can put them handcuffs on Drew Holiday 4 times. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough assignment. He's definitely going to have to eat his Wheaties. Who that there, Brother Terrence, the worst defensive player of the year? Marcus Smart, Gobert. You probably talking about Marcus Smart. And like I said, I believe Gobert is a very good defender. If you really watch what he does, and I know people were picking on him when the Joker were doing him in, and he was dancing with Luka. You really look at Gobert. Gobert does what he's supposed to do. He really does. So you may be talking about Smart, the worst defensive player of the year ever. I think you are. I may have to agree with you. I don't know exactly what he did to pull that off that year. But he's still a good defender, though. Come on, Brother Terrence. Get him in the shot. So, we got 2 people with the Mavs and 6. We got 1 person with Boston and 6. Nah, he's not. Come on, Brother Terrence. He's not terrible, man. He's not terrible. He's not terrible. He's won Defensive Player of the Year 3 or 4 times. He's just not winning that because he's winning it. He's had moments where it seems like that spotlight is on him, and it makes him look terrible because they're going to show. Nobody's going to show Rudy Gobert defensive highlights on SportsCenter. We just not going to get that. So we're going to see him getting done in. We're going to see him getting cut, and everybody's going to pick on him about it. Yeah, you say he gave him no rim protection in the playoffs. I agree somewhat, but then it's almost like when you look at it, a lot of times they pulled him away from the rim because they knew he's going to block shots. So a lot of times you go back and you look at some of those games, they would pull him away from the rim. And yeah, Joker gave him Joker give anybody the business. I said it earlier. You can be the best defensive player in the world, but when those number one offensive guys, the best players in the league, when they in what they doing, they gonna give you the business. I don't care who it is. Joker, Ben Wallace, he's one of the best interior defenders I've ever seen in my life. Joker would give Ben Wallace the business. Yep, Ben is big and strong, but Joker, he's got those moves. Joker, I promise you, the way Joker plays, he had Ben Wallace looking crazy. Yeah, definitely by design. Yeah, it's the playoffs. So the stuff you were doing in the regular season, you're not gonna do that in the playoffs. Yeah, you got 4 blocks every game on us in the regular season, but the playoffs, you're not going to get any blocks because we're going to run pick and roll you to the death. We're going to target you on defense. We're going to have you on the perimeter dancing. We're going to do all that. We're going to do all that to you. So, yeah. But when you look back at history, Brother Terrence, you know, a lot of great players that have won that Defensive Player of the Year that are big men. They ain't one for the guard on the perimeter either. Keem Olajuwon. He's one of the greatest players, 2-time champion. Kareem Akeem Olajuwon ain't fit. He can't dance with Luka. David Robinson, big time defender. He can't dance with Luka. So in that was more coaching, Brother Terrence. Coaches, they saw they were talking to Rudy like that. That's on the coach to say, "Hey, Rudy, we appreciate the regular season stuff you did for us, but because of this matchup, the way it's going, we're going to make this adjustment." So that was more coaching than the player, Brother Terrence. So you're right, but I blame that more on the coaching. So they knew what he did to them in the regular season, and you're not going to do that to us. All right, so here's my pick. And I hate y'all came on here, Minister Vino and Brother Terrence, because you guys picked my pick. I'm going with the Mavs in 6. I'm going with them winning the championship on their home in front of their home crowd. In game 1, it's kind of hard to say, but I will say this: Dallas, if they don't get game 1, they'll get game 2. If they don't get game 1, they'll get game 2, and then we're gonna go from there. But I got the Mavs in 6. Luka and Kyrie, Brother Terrence, I'm right there with you. They're not gonna be able to guard those guys. You know, they can put Derek White on them. They can put Drew on them. Now, this is something I did as a coach, and we may see this from their coach. And that's another thing, too. That's what's going to play a part in this series, the coaching. Jason Kidd is going to out-coach Missoula. Missoula do some strange things to me sometimes. And not even strange things. He reminds me, I was messing with one of my ministers, Minister Alton. He loves the Lakers. And Darvin Ham, it was moments where it seemed like Darvin Ham didn't know what he was doing. I see Missoula doing that sometimes, guys. I really do. It's like, man, he don't know what he's doing. So this is a strategy I would employ. It's something I did when I was coaching basketball. I was coaching the middle school team, and we made it to the championship, but we had to play the undefeated team in the league. They had beat us twice in the regular season. They beat us soundly, but the championship game, what I did, I switched my defensive assignments. So I put my 2 perimeter players on their 2 big men because they were too fast for my big men. And then I put my big men on their shooters because they had shooters that wasn't really that depth at handling the ball. So I didn't have to worry about them really doing a move and going around my big guys. I just need them to get out there and get their hand up in their face and contest a shot. And then I needed my guards to keep up with their big men because they wasn't big men like that. They mostly rely on their speed as big men with post moves. So we made that switch, and it made a big difference, and we won the championship. So if I'm coaching the Celtics, I'm going to have some moments where I'm going to shift Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum on Luka and Kyrie. That's what I would do as a coach. I won't count on Drew and Derek White to guard Luka and Kyrie all the time. They're great, and they're great defenders. But I would throw Jaylen Brown and Tatum at those guys as well. I would throw Jaylen Brown and Tatum at those guys as well. And if they do that, and if somebody can get in Tatum's head and say, Jaylen Brown is the man, not you, Boston can win in 7 if all that happens. Yeah, Brother Terrence, when they shoot those threes, they shoot a lot of them. When they make it, it's good, but when they miss, they don't know what to do with themselves. But they can win in 7 if they make those adjustments. We'll see if they make those adjustments. Apostle Otis, God bless you, big brother. I'm going with the Mavs in 6. And that's a majority of the team on here today. That's with us live. Most of everybody picked the Mavs in 6. Our chief apostle, he picked Boston in 6. He's the only one. Well, what you say, Apostle Otis? You might agree with Chief. I'm going Mavs in 6. Mavs to win a championship on their home court. Like I said, Boston can win. Boston can win, but it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot that's going to have to go in their favor. Again, if I was coaching that team, I would try not to rely on the 3 ball so much. I would make adjustments. I would have Tatum and Brown spend time on Luka and Kyrie. Just making those minor adjustments. And if it goes 7, Boston probably can pull this thing out. But I'm going Mavs in 6. Luka and Kyrie, they're too gifted. They have a look in their eyes. I don't know if you guys are watching the games, but both of those young men have a look in their eyes, and they want to win this championship. I'm going Mavs in 6. Wow, Apostle, wow. Oh, you talking real tough, Apostle. You talking real tough. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my Apostle Akers, this is a big take. This is a hot take right here. He's saying Luka the Don is going to have a bad series. Woo! Apostle, I'm going to have to bring you on. I'm going to have to bring you on as a guest if that come to pass. Now that's a hot take, Apostle. That's a hot one. Yeah, somebody else will say, ooh, on you too. Ooh, now that's Apostle. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring you on. This happened. I'm gonna have to bring you on. If that happens, Boston definitely winning. I don't see that happening. I don't think too many of the other viewers see that happening, Apostle. But if it happens, we're going to do a special Kingdom Sports where you going to be the guest co-host that day. Because that's the hottest take I've heard. That's the hottest take I've heard. But hey, Apostle, the Lord might be revealing some things to you. So, that's definitely a hot one. Yeah, Mr. Vino, too many scoring droughts. They depend on the 3 ball. And like I said, you got to get to a point where you got to tell JB, hey man, JB, go do your thing. And the crazy thing about it, them guys will be missing so many 3-pointers, and they'll keep shooting those jokers. It's insane. Because, it's a game of numbers. It's a game of percentages. And eventually that stuff weigh itself out, but there's games within the game. And when the threes ain't falling for you this game, just shift, man. And that's on coaching too. Sometimes you got to call a timeout and say, hey, man, when y'all shoot another 3, you're going to be on this bench with me the rest of the game. They ain't falling for us. Let's get to the cup. Let's get some mid-range going. Let's get some post-ups going. The threes ain't falling. Them guys to keep shooting. One of my other big brothers, Apostle Tim, yes, sir. Mavs in 6, yeah. That's what I'm going with. Apostle Otis that ran off? Where Apostle Otis at? Where you going, Apostle Otis? Who you picking? Got Mavs in 6 almost across the board. Yeah, Mr. Vino, Killer Kai definitely got a chip on the shoulder. And we all know Boston fans be something vicious, man. I live in Polk County, Florida. And Boston is like some of the Polk County people. No offense, Polk County, been here for about 14 years. I love you guys. But y'all know what I'm saying. There's some people here that can really mistreat you, really disrespect you as a man. So I know they did that to Kyrie. So he gonna come in there. Kyrie coming for the juggler every night. He ain't gonna let him know killers in town. He ain't gonna let no killers. Apostle, you saying Luka gonna have a bad? Are you still saying Luka gonna have a bad series, or you saying Kyrie gonna have a bad series too? You gotta clear that one up for us. Apostle Otis, 7 games. Who you got though? Who you got, Apostle Otis? 7 games. Who you got? Who you got? Yeah, Drew averaged 18. So if Boston wins, he going to average 18 plus. But like you said, Minister Vina, we don't know if they're going to let Drew shoot that much. Okay, Luka, yeah. Yeah, that's the hottest take from the show tonight, Apostle. Luka going to have just an entire bad series. He might have a bad game or two. But an entire series? No, Apostle. But like I said, if that happens, Apostle, I knew you was gonna go with Chief on me. I knew you was gonna. Something in my spirit told me you were gonna ride with Chief and say Boston. I knew you was gonna ride with Chief Apostle on this. So going 7, but honestly, if I'm being honest with myself, if it goes 7, there's a good chance Boston can't pull that off. But my pick is Mavs in 6. My pick is Mavs in 6. A lot of stuff got to happen for Celtics to win in 7. It's just too much. And now, if I was coaching Boston, I would toot my own horn for a minute. Toot toot. If I was coaching Boston, they'll win. They'll win in 7. They'll win in 7. Oh, Apostle Relaford. Yes, sir. He a beast and he be faster. He be faster the whole playoffs. Still come out there dropping 30 on you. The Spirit of the Lord is upon him. Drew can go get it when he wants to. Apostle, you might be looking at a different Drew Holiday than the rest of us looking at. Drew can drop buckets, but Drew don't even play like that anymore. Drew don't go out there trying to get 20, Apostle. He's not going to average 18 a series. He's not going to average 18 a series. Matter of fact, let's look up what he's averaging in these playoffs. Somebody pull that up with me. That's a tall task for Drew Holiday to try to get 18 a game. That's not even his game anymore. That's not his game anymore. Apostle Otis, that had to be real hard for you to say that. Every Laker fan want the Celtics to lose. Every Laker fan want the Celtics to lose. So, hey, you and Apostle might be on something then. That might be the Spirit of the Lord building that to y'all. That's tough, man. Y'all talking about Boston getting this thing done. But a majority is saying that Mavs in 6. But Boston is a favorite if you look at, I believe I got a bunch of believers that are with me. But anybody that's not a believer, you may be a gambler. You know, the gambling lines have Boston as the favorite. The gambling lines do have that. Drew Holiday, Apostle Daniel L. Akins. Do you know how many points Drew Holiday averaging right now? If you talking about 18 for the series, Drew Holiday is. Who wants to take a guess before I reveal it? How many points Drew Holiday averaging for this season, including the playoffs? Who wants to take a guess at this? Because I actually thought it was a little more myself. I knew it wasn't nowhere near 18, but I actually thought it was a little more than what he averaging. Apostle, I'm very serious. Y'all kidding out with this Boston stuff. And Drew Holiday dropping 18 a game? Who wants to take a guess how much Drew Holiday been averaging? Mr. Venus, I give him 8. 8, not 18, huh? 8, not 18. Good guess, Mr. Vito. I'm going to tell you this. His average is closer to 8 than it is 18. Apostle Akins. Pa, how many do you think Drew Holiday averaging right now for this season? What's his scoring average? Apostle Otis. Porzingis coming back is going to be big for them. It's going to be big for them. He actually can be a difference maker more so than Drew Holiday. He can be a difference maker more so than Drew Holiday. Think about his game. Think about how he plays. He actually can be the X factor over Drew Holiday. If let's say Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Luka, Kyrie, they cancel each other out. I would say Porzingis may be the next top player. And now he could be the reason Boston wins. I'll probably say he didn't even do a 3-game. Yeah, I'll probably see 13 a game, 12.7. That's how much he averaged, 12.7 a game. So Drew used to get buckets back in the day. He was with Philly, and I believe he was with the New Orleans Pelicans. Drew dropped 20 back in that was early parts of his career, but he came to understand where his team needed the most out of him, and that was hitting timely shots and playing excellent defense, and help just being a 4 general out there. So yeah, him getting 18 in the game, possibly that's a little far fetched. That's a little far fetched. Yeah, so we're going with the Magic 6. The hot take of the night, Luka Doncic's going to have a bad series all series long. So, again, I'll be bringing my apostle on the show with us and see if that happens. White is more of a has more of an opportunity to score more than Drew Holiday at this stage in Drew's career. I'm not taking nothing away from Drew. Drew's a bad boy. He's a bad boy. But to count on him to give you 18, 20, no. We not even do that to Drew. Because of what he does defensively. I don't even want Drew to score that much. Yeah, and Minister Vino, you're right. A lot of people don't even realize this, but the Mavs are a very physical team. We're gonna have some chippiness and all that stuff. You got some boys out there, Gafford, Lively, P.J. Washington, Tim Hardaway Jr., and you got some guys out there, Keebler, I believe. Them guys don't mind, doing a little bum and grind out there. They don't mind at all. And then Chris Potts, like I said, he can be the X factor. But I see Chris Potts get a little soft as a pillow sometimes. Which I do a little bump and grind out there. And then Tatum, I done see people slap the taste out of Tatum's mouth, and he's ducking out like a baby. So yeah, you brought up a good point. Dallas has a level of physicality that Boston really doesn't have. Apostle, you're right now. Brown is the one that will get physical. Like I said, Brown is their guy, and they got to realize it. Brown is their guy, but Mr. Ben, you going back and forth with your dad now, Mr. Vino. You're right as well. He the only guy that's gonna get down like that. Tatum be at it like he Rick Fox. Tatum don't need to be Rick Fox. You shout out to the light skinned brothers, but I need you to be more what's the guy's name? Light skinned guy. They get a little rough and rugged. We have him on the Magic. Brother Terry, you still on? You'll know him. I can't think of his name. He played for the Magic. He played for the Clippers. I can't think of his name right now. He got a podcast. Light skinned guy, but he played like he tapped into more of that brother side of him. What is this dude's name? I can't think of his name right now. He was the one that threw the ball act like he was gonna throw the ball at Kobe, and then Kobe just didn't flinch. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Matt Barnes. That's it. Matt Barnes. We need Tatum to be more Matt Barnes than Rick Fox. In all these years, Tatum been Rick Fox. Too pretty. I done seen him bust Tatum's mouth, and Tatum is done for the rest of the evening. He got there playing, but he ain't playing like that. He's not playing like that. He's not playing like that. I'm sorry. Brown go get it. And it's gonna be difficult to say Brown got to be your dog and your best player. That's gonna be difficult. I remember Coach Prime said this. I know Coach Prime he put L on the jersey for leaders and D's on the jersey for dogs. And he said every leader ain't a dog and every dog ain't a leader. So when you do have one of your leaders that's a dog as well, He needs some puppets in the pen with him. He needs some more dogs with him. He needs some more dogs with him. Dallas got their hands full. Yeah, it's about the oldest, but Boston got their hands full too. Boston got their hands full too. Luke and Kyrie, man, them guys are magicians with the ball. Luke out there moving slow as can be, but give me your work. And then Kyrie, we all know it. He didn't get his nickname for no reason. He's a killer. He is literally a basketball killer. If you don't believe me, go ask Anthony Edwards. If you don't believe me, go ask that Golden State Warriors team that was up on the Cavs 3-1. Kyrie is a killer. He's a killer. Ooh, Minister Vino. Oh, you coming with them points. Luka went up against the Clippers. That's another thing, too. I mentioned that the Celtics had an easy road to get here. The Dallas road was much harder. They went up against the Clippers with proven players, a championship-winning coach, and they beat them. They went up against OKC, the number one team in the West, SCA, baller, other young guys, baller. They called the young man Lou Dort, the Dorter Chamber. And Luka survived that. Then they went against the Wolves, the number one defense in the NBA. Dallas has gone through a gauntlet. And Boston has had a cakewalk. Now, with that being said, one or two things can happen. Dallas, because they've gone through a gauntlet, could be burnt out. And Boston, because they're going through a cakewalk, can have all the fire left for them. Or Dallas, because they go through a gauntlet, are ready to take it all. And Boston, because they had a cakewalk, feel like they can get back here any time in any season. And we all know it's not that easy to get back to these championship rounds. So yeah, Apostle Akins, yes sir. Role players going to be big. Role players going to be big. PJ Washington is going to have big games for Dallas. Chris Bob Porzingis, he's going to have big. It's going to come down to that third or fourth guy, because those top two players, Kyrie, Luka, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they're going to pretty much X each other out, which we would hope that that's going to happen. But just a little leery about Tatum, a little leery about Tatum. But yeah, it's going to come down to the role players. It's going to come down to the role players and who's not afraid. But I will say this: Boston almost like give games away on their home court. In Dallas, a lot of people say most role players play good at home. Their role players will play good on the road. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. Oh yeah, Apostle, I talked about the coaching. Minnesota was definitely out-coached, and the immaturity killed them. Jason Kidd is going to out-coach Missoula. I don't know if y'all have seen Missoula out on that sideline, man. He be looking like Darvin Ham for the Lakers. He looks lost. He don't know what to do. And then we go back to two-ball horn. 2-2. If I was coaching Boston, they'll probably win. But Missoula, man. Apostle, now Paul George's not trash. Apostle, you trying to be out Stephen A. Smith today. You trying to be Stephen A. You just saying some stuff now, Apostle. and Kawhi was hurt, yeah. But still, when you look at that team, Apostle, the Clippers as a whole, that was a formidable matchup. The Clippers, hey, let's remember ourselves. The Clippers was a better team than anybody Boston faced in these playoffs. The Clippers would have beat Miami. The Clippers would have beat Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Clippers would have beat the Indiana Pacers. So the Clippers would have beat all three of those teams that the Celtics have won with a hurt Kawhi Leonard. So yeah. Now they weren't that good, Apostle. Cut it out, Apostle. Everybody they played, their top guy was injured. Jayson Tatum ain't had a signature game yet. Apostle, you Stephen A. Smith today, man. Apostle Dan Akins, my chief apostle is being Stephen A. Smith on Kingdom Sports. My goodness. He caught in with bad takes. The Clippers are not relevant. The Clippers aren't relevant. Apostle Otis, you're right. But we're just talking about the teams these guys had to play against, to get here. Man, this is fun on tonight. All right, guys. You guys gave me a lot of good stuff, man. I'm probably going to have to chop this up, make some reels. But that's it. Final prediction. Mavs in 6 win their second championship on their home court in Dallas. Killer Kyrie getting it is well-deserved. Revenge on everybody hated Celtics because most, just people don't like the Celtics for whatever reason, I guess it goes back to the Bird Magic days, whatever it may be. But, yeah, Kyrie, he was there. He said he was going to stay there. He left. They did him in. Yeah, Kyrie going to get his revenge. He's on revenge tour. Luka's going to be the MVP. Mavs in 6. I see Apostle Otis coming up with Boston in 7. If it goes 7, I would have to lean towards Boston. I'll definitely come back. And if we get a Game 7, I'll definitely come back and do a preview of Game 7. And I may come back probably after Game 3 and 4 just to do a assessment of where we are. But I'm picking Mavs in 6. So our hot takes is Apostle Jay Akins said Luka's going to have the worst series of his life. And Boston's going to win. So we're going to have Apostle definitely come on here and be able to talk and be our Killer Sports Stephen A. Smith if it goes that way. So thank you guys so much, man. We had fun on tonight, man. I got to chop these reels up, man. This was a fun exciting. Again, this is C. Michael Stanley, your host of Kingdom Sports, coming to you live from Kingdom Speaks Network, founder and CEO, my lovely wife, Providence and Wanda Stanley. Until we meet again, guys, we'll come back in probably about a week or so. And we'll do this thing again. Thank you guys so much. God bless you, Apostle. Appreciate the feedback, Apostle. Thank you, sir. All right, God bless you guys. Love you guys.